Yes, my people, welcome back to Tenacious Trading Group. I hope everyone's having a lovely day. So, I'm just going to be going over NQ. Let me use NQ instead. 1 second, guys. Yeah, so I'm just going to be going over NQ, 3 o'clock. Oh, it's already done for me. Okay, perfect. So, yesterday, when I hopped in the charts, this is what I saw on my 1 hour chart. This is what I saw on my 15-minute chart. This is what I saw on my 5 minute chart. So for those of you that don't already know, I trade using a 1 hour chart as my higher time frame for narrative. I use the 5 minute to see what is currently going on, and then I use the 1 minute to match with my 5 minute to potentially take trades on the 1 minute early entry. So 15 and 1 also work fine. However, I do quite like the 1 5 minute and then the one sometimes the 15 second or 5 second. But really and truly, I don't even need to get down to the second shot. So on my 1 hour chart, when we're looking at price is still bullish. Like price hasn't actually flipped bearish based off the SMA and this base of structure, because we still have this area here where this is my one, this is my two, this is my three. It looks like price are now swept, so this is my four, and potentially this is now my new five. Or there's a chance that price might want to come back down, mitigate a little bit more deeper before we make our way back up. So let's just put the settings, visibility. Okay, perfect. So when we now go down to our 5 minute, price is against SMA, and it looks like we have bearish structure. So on the 1 hour, we have bullish structure where it looks like price might want to pull back, tap into something on our left. However, on our 5 minute, we have bearish structure. So remember what I say, whatever time frame you're on, you have to follow that SMA based on that time frame. So right now, just from analyzing my lower time frame and then my higher time frame, I can see that price is in the pullback phase where price wants to pull back, tap into something on our left, and then potentially continue to make higher highs and higher lows. So we have this internal flip over here based on our 5 minute chart. So this is our 2 on the 1 hour chart. This is our 4, and then hopefully this is our 5. So technically I'll need price to take out these highs or get above the SMA, and then I can start to look for longs. However, the game plan will still be to look for shorts, and then if price actually flips bullish, which are going to be the better setups, then I'll be looking for longs. However, I'm just going to be trading the pullback, which I mentioned in the Discord. So we actually have this area here. This is my last up down movement. So this is an area of interest where price might want to tap into, mitigate, and continue to make lower lows and lower highs. So as you guys can see, we actually do have SBS where this could have been your 1, this could have been your 2, this could have been your 3. We've had that sweep, so this could be a 4, and then obviously 5 is a trade that takes you lower. Or potentially you could have had this as your 1, this as your 2, this as your 3, and then obviously 4, 5. But either way, they both work the same, both work hand in hand. So now it's just about seeing how price is going to react, and then seeing if you can now take this trade lower. So obviously if you had your fib from this high to this low, and you take out the 618, technically you've already been tagged in, and obviously until price disrespects this protected internal high, then price should continue to make lower lows and lower highs. Obviously you don't have to take this entry. You could go down to your 1 minute, and then you can kind of just wait for price to flip bearish. As you guys can already see, that price was making higher highs and higher lows. So clearly on our 1 minute chart, price was just in the pullback based off this bearish structure. However, overall price was still bearish. So actually let's stay in the 1 minute when we let price play out. So technically now, based off the SMA on our 1 minute chart, this is now where we've had an internal flip. So when we let price play out, and then price just keeps dumping, so we don't actually quite get a pullback from this area here. However, if you just use the 618, yes, would have been in drawdown. Potentially could have even got stopped out, because look how close we came to our protected high. However, price just kept dumping and dumping and dumping. So we now have our new zone over here, where this is now my new zone. And I would like now for price to come back, tap into this zone, and continue to make lower lows and lower highs. We don't quite get that. We don't quite that, unfortunately. And then a few people did mention that this was a flip based off the 1 minute time frame. So we went from making lower lows, lower highs, to now higher high, higher lows. But the flip came from this area here. So a lot of people were looking for longs. However, I did say that I won't be looking for longs based on my 1 minute chart. I'll rather have off my 5 minute protected high get broken, let us be above the SMA, and then I will look for potential potential longs to take me higher. Until then, I'm not gonna get caught up on the 1 minute noise and then potentially get cooked. I'd rather just be patient, wait for price to take out this potential high, and then I'll look for the trade longs, or I'll just wait for price to tap into this area here and start making its way back down. So obviously we've gone past my trading time now, but let's just see how PM played out. And then so we can see that if I draw up my fib from this high to this low, price just tapped the 618. You can also say that we had SBS like this, where potentially this could have been your 1, this could have been your 2, this could have been your 3, price swept 4, 5. We tapped the 618 nicely, and then you could have entered off the 618, start above your protected high, and then obviously take profit there. Then we get the other one, classic. So there's a classic one. So SBS, so take profit at a 1-to-1, gets tagged over there. So you'll move your stop to break even now, and then when you let price play out, price doesn't quite have enough juice to take us lower, and we're just kind of consolidating here. And then so you'd have been stopped out at, or not yet, but potentially, because it's the next day or the next morning, you'd have potentially been stopped out at break even if you're still trying to play out this trade. So there was only 2 potential trades today, and so there's only 2 potential trades today, and the better entry model would have been with the 618. I mean, if I'm gonna just be acute with it, then I mean, I could say that this was my last up candle, and we mitigate the 50% right there. So I would enter off a sell stop over here, start above this high, and then that gives you a just over 2R. So that could have been your entry with the CSS model. And then here, regarding here, we don't quite get what I want. I mean, you could say that we failed to take out the lows, and then obviously price doesn't really come back, so we can't really use that, if I'm going to be completely honest. So these are the 2 trades that you could have taken. Again, mainly the 618 entry gets you in. I mean, you do get an entry of CSS here, where that gives you a 2R, but overall I would say that price was bearish internally, because when we go to the 1 hour chart now, we can see that price was just in a pullback. It wanted to tap into something on our left, so we have a hidden area of supply and demand over here. Can you see how we came and we wicked the lows? However, we failed to close below the low, so that's a liquidity grab. And obviously within that, price has now reacted and it has now started to move back above. So that's how today's price action, well, yesterday's price action led us. It wasn't the worst day, it wasn't the best day, but if you were just patient, you saw your setup, you traded a setup, then I don't see how you would have had a major loss, maybe a minor loss, but overall it was very reasonable price action, and it was clear that price was bearish internally. However, overall we were bullish. And yeah, that's it for today. Wherever you're in the world, I'm wishing you guys a good morning, a good afternoon, a good evening, and a good night. And always remember that victory belongs to the most tenacious. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.